Uranium was the hot story yesterday. Uranium stocks exploded to the upside. All the big stocks up 10%, 12%, 15%. What's going on there? What do we do now? And I want to introduce you to two stocks that could be major winners of the Trump nuclear energy policy that nobody's talking about right now. Let's get into it. We got lots to talk about. Welcome to Hot Trades of the Day, your show for swing trading ideas for the coming days, weeks, and month. Hotter uranium stocks. Okay, let's start with this. My prediction of the uranium correction was basically a draw. If you know European football, like soccer football rules, then you know if you get a win, you get 3 points. If you get a draw, you get 1 point. And the difference to the market, if you lose, you get 0 points. If you lose at the markets, well, you basically get -3 points. So I predicted the uranium stocks gonna consolidate. They did that, but not over price, but over time. And they broke out to the upside yesterday. And boy, did they break out. Look at the URA, the Global Uranium ETF. It completely negated the possibility of a triple top. And the negative divergence in the RSI, you see it down in the chart, gone, right? So we got to readjust. We got to draw, right? We didn't lose any money, but my prediction was not right. It wasn't wrong, but it was not right either. So the beauty of the swing trader is we can adjust and we can adapt, and we're not going to sit here and cry that we missed the rally and we missed all the good prices to get into the stocks and it'll never come back. And no, we're just going to adapt and we're going to position ourselves for the next leg up, because that is coming, uranium stocks. Now, what happened? Well, basically nothing major happened. US Energy Secretary Wright said that the US will increase their stockpile in uranium. Duh, they've done this before, they've announced this before, nothing new here. So why did the uranium stocks all shoot through the roof? Because it's such a small market that is primarily driven by retail investors. They just read the headlines and then just throw in the buy orders. The institutions want to be in the uranium market, but it's really difficult for them to get in with decent size because it's so small. So they have to push up the prices in order to get the orders filled. And that's what we're seeing in the uranium stocks right now. Will this continue? In my opinion, yes. Will we see a correction in uranium stocks within the next year? In my opinion, yes. And it'll be bloody. But in the end, the uranium story will continue to work, especially made in America uranium. As I've said here on the channel many times, that is the hottest story in the commodity markets all around, and especially in the energy sector. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you missed the videos in the past. All right, that can happen. But to avoid for that to happen again, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the video where we talk about things like we're going to talk about right now. Obviously, the question that everybody's asking right now, okay, great, all the big stocks shot up 10%. They've all been up a lot. What is there for me to invest in? Well, there are still good companies out there. But before we get to the good companies, I need to come out with a serious warning, because I've seen this before in the mining sector and especially in the uranium sector. Now, and with now I mean 2026, probably 2027, the scammer's gonna come out. You're gonna get promotions of so-called uranium explorers made in America. Yeah, we have some land in this and this state and blah, blah, blah. And we're going to develop these uranium projects. And a lot of people will lose a lot of money. This has happened in the past. It happens all the time in the commodity sector when we have a commodity boom. It's similar to what happened in the crypto markets. Same thing. And uranium is one of the markets where this happens a lot. Why? Because it's primarily driven by retail. And those are the people whose money you can steal if you're a scammer. So be very, very careful. Remember, even if the Trump administration improves the time that it takes to get permits, especially environmental permits, which is very, very difficult for uranium projects, it takes years to develop uranium projects. And that means if you get new explorers, if you get new people that are going to come out, I can tell you right now what they're going to do. They're going to come out, they're going to say, well, we have this land, it is close to projects XYZ of uranium producer ABC, and we have some historical data, and we think there's going to be uranium here, and we're going to bring it into a mine, and with the Trump administration at the new stand on nuclear energy, it's going to be half the time. And and the stock is only 15 cents. It does sound good, right? It sounds tempting. You missed out on Energy Fuels, you missed out on Cameco, you missed out on UEC. You're like, where can I get in? Which is the next hot stock? And you think this is the next hot stock. But really, they're not mining the uranium. They're there to mine your money, right? So be very, very careful. One of the things that is problematic after the run-up in the gold miners and the silver miners and the uranium miners is that now you start to look not even out on the risk curve. That is okay because the fundamentals for uranium have improved since Trump took office. And I talked about this here on this channel last year after the election. And again, if you didn't know this, if you didn't see the videos, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss this information. The same way the fundamentals have improved, obviously, with gold and silver, with the prices going up, and in the case of gold, the central banks around the world buying it up. So we can go out on the risk curve, that's fine, as long as we weight it accordingly in our portfolios. But what we shouldn't do is buy shitty companies. We can go out on the risk curve if we still buy good companies. And let me show you two companies that could be interesting especially in the context of Trump's nuclear energy policy. And the first one is SkyHarbor Resources. Now, as you can see, it had quite a run, but if we zoom out, you also see, man, this stock has been all over the place, right? It just broke its long-term 2023 downtrend. This chart is completely different than Energy Fuels or UEC. As you can see, as far as 3 weeks back, this chart looked terrible. Looked like the stock is going to break down. And then it shot up and we broke the long-term downtrend. That's positive. We broke the yellow resistance zone, as you can see, that we've been trying to get over in 2025 and haven't been able to get over. Now we broke it. So on the charts, this is one of the very promising stocks that still has a lot of room to run. This is a small stock. There's not even $100 million market cap. But in my eyes and in the eyes of a lot of uranium investors, smart money uranium investors, this, while it is an explorer, is one of the most promising uranium explorers out there. And announcement here, I'll be talking about SkyHarbor Resources and present the company to you in the Hot Trades of the Day company profiles that we do here. We have done mostly gold producers and explorers in the past. Well, with this new breakout in uranium stocks, I figure let's talk about SkyHarbor Resources, because this stock still has room to run. How would I play this? I'm not invested in it myself. Would I pick it up? Yes, at the right price I would. And weirdly enough, the price now is better than it was a month ago. Why do I say this? Well, because a month ago it was cheaper, right? Because we were down here, but also we had the risk of completely collapsing further down. If you look at this, you can see we were basically at a 5-year low. And it could have been just as easily collapsed all the way down to 23 cents or even close this open gap at like 18, 19 cents. Could have easily happened, especially if we would have gotten a correction in the uranium sector anyway that was about to develop and then didn't. So now we have the positive fundamentals in our back. We're going to talk about the company tomorrow and on Thursday in the presentation. So make sure you don't miss that. You really want to, if you're interested in SkyHarbor Resources, you really want to see this, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss these videos, because I take 2 videos for each company. We are going really in depth here. And now we have the chart in our back. So actually now the company is more attractive to us because we have a triple factor in our back. Will the stock stay volatile? Yes, very much so. Absolutely. And the reason is this is an explorer. It is years away from production. So when uranium the sector is hot, it goes up. But when it gets cold, it's one of the first ones that gets left in the dust. Why? Because again, it has smart money, long-term uranium investors attached to it. It's one of the most popular explorers among the uranium smart money, but it's really driven by retail, right? It's really driven by retail, and obviously the retail, the second uranium goes cold, they sell off stocks like SkyHarbor with small market caps first. So I would buy 50% of the position and see if we can get in around 42 to 40 Canadian, that is, which is basically right here, this zone right here. As you can see, we have been in this in the past days, so there's a high probability that we go back to it. We could test the broken long-term downtrend, so that would get us in at 38. But with this euphoria for the uranium stocks, which have done very well in 2025, which, by the way, I predicted in my yearly predictions in 2024, that is unlikely. But I want to have money in the back pocket to add to my position because of the volatility that SkyHarbor Resources have. Can this stock, if we have a major correction in the markets, and I mean like 10%, 15%, go back down to like 35, fill this gap right here? Yeah, it absolutely could. Look at the volatility this stock has had. So first, you want to weight this position accordingly, meaning this is not a core position, right? This is a highly speculative position that you build around your core uranium positions, and you want to hold money in the back pocket. Even if you buy in 50% now and it runs up, I mean, your chances are pretty good that you're going to get another shot, at least at the price that you're buying now, if the volatility comes back into the uranium sector. And it will. It will at some point. Again, there's nothing more speculative in the commodity sector other than junior explorers and uranium stocks. Now, second stock, real quick, gotta move. The second stock I like is ISO Energy. This is a developer and explorer. Explorer in Canada, developer near production in the US. Nice. This is great. Why is this great? Well, if they're near production, they come into production soon. Producers in the US, that is the hot story, with the government buying uranium for their stockpiling their uranium supplies. As you can see, chart looks very interesting. Also, this stock hasn't run up as much as the big, huge billion-dollar uranium stocks. Why is that? Well, this is only around a $500 million US company at the moment. But you can see a pretty similar situation here that we see with SkyHarbor. You see 2024 long-term downtrend finally broken and beautiful break, right? This is how I like it. We broke, we retested it, now we're off to the races. We broke this resistance zone, therefore we finished the bottoming formation. Okay, so we missed the first 10% of the uptrend after the breakout, but that's really nothing when we're talking about uranium stocks. And as you can see, this thing can go a lot higher. But we can also see if we can catch this again around here, like 12 to 11.75 pullback. That can easily happen. And maybe if things get, a little dicey in October, we'll probably get it back here at the uptrend, maybe around 11.60. If you say I need to get in now, okay, fair enough. It's your decision. You need to make your own decisions. Again, I would only buy half a position now and then add to it when the volatility kicks in at some point. But this chart looks very good as well. It has not run up as much, and it's one of the potential Trump winners as well. That's it for today. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the video about SkyHarbor Resources and you know what this company is all about. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.